everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brooke. Thank you for joining me today. This is Pages of Blessings, and today I'm bringing you my Winter TBR. I wanted to film a Winter TBR. I am definitely lean more of a mood reader and like to read seasonal, have a seasonal TBR to pull from that fits the season. So this will be winter, as in, I'm in Michigan, so it is already feeling like winter here, but technically winter doesn't start until December 21st. And then spring will start in March 21st, so that's kind of the parameter I'm using. So not really for December. These will be more books I'll probably grab. I might get one of these maybe in December, but for the most part, these are going to be books I gravitate towards in January, February, and March. If you've missed my past TBRs, I'm going to use this more as a pile of possibilities, not as strict, I have to read these, just more of these are the ones I'm thinking I'm going to lean towards, but we'll see what happens. If you're new here, I am officially, well, by the time this goes live, I'll be a 31 weeks pregnant. So I am nearing the end of this pregnancy. I'm due at the beginning of February. That is going to probably change a lot in my reading. So I want to use this really loosely for myself, but I thought I would share. And if you all wanted to take some recommendations from any of these books, that would be amazing. Or let me know your thoughts on which ones I should make sure I prioritize in the limited time I have before baby girl's arrival. So I'll start with two that I've mentioned in my December TBR. I really want to get to, so I just found out that there's a fourth book in the Skyward series that comes out in March. So now I'm very motivated to get the rest of the series done before March. So I need to read the second one, which is Starsight. So this is again I had it in my December TBR, but it's also going to be in my winter TBR. This is the second book in the series. So this is definitely going to get prioritized. Another one that will get prioritized, I think I'm going to hold off until January though, is Echo in the Darkness, which is the second in the Mark of the Lion trilogy. If you missed my review of Voice in the Wind, that was in my November wrap-up. I'll link that below. My next grouping of books, I would say, are like winter covers, or they take place in like a winter scene. So this is more of like the mood reading for the season. So the first one I have is Winter Garden by Kristen Hanna. I don't know anything about this one. Besides, my husband's grandma kindly loaned this one to me. She has a ton of books in her own collection. Last time we were there, I took a big bag full home of her books. So this was one that caught my eye. Again, no idea what this one's about, but it has a winter cover. Next one is The Snow Child. I mean, snow, winter, they're kind of synonymous. This I have owned for a while. I believe I got at a thrift store, library bookstore. I'm sorry, the lighting is, I'm in front of a window and I keep noticing like the sun is moving in and out of the clouds, so it's changing the lighting. But I thrifted this a while ago, and then Gloria in her winter TBR had this on there, and I didn't really know what it was about, but it has magic realism, and I think like a snow child turns into a real child, something along those lines. It sounded really interesting in her video, and I'm excited to maybe pick this one up. The last one is Beartown. This one is super hyped. It takes place in a hockey town, and I mean, if you can't see that little landscape right there, very wintry. I've heard nothing but great things about this series. I'm very interested to pick this up in this winter. Hopefully I get to it, because it's been a top priority for a while, in my mind at least. I just haven't gotten to it. My next little stack here, I will classify as middle grade. I don't think this is young adult. I think this one is middle grade. But Keeper of the Lost Cities. This one is by Shannon Messenger, a beloved series. I believe there's the 8th or 9th book just came out this year, and I have been wanting to read it for a couple of years now. I finally bought the first book this year, a couple months back, and bought Chantel from Chantel Reads All Day. She said the audio is superb. So I'm kind of leaning towards listening to this one on audio with all the late night feedings coming up. I think this will be my go-to for those late nights, but I need help. If anyone is really savvy with Audible, message me or comment below so we can talk, because I recently purchased a new Audible membership, but now I'm realizing a lot of the books that I want to listen to, I can't access. They like say they're 1 credit and it wants me to upgrade, but I don't know which one I need to upgrade to have access to them. Like if it says it's 1 credit, do I need, is it included in the plus cap? Like I'm confused. So if you know the differences in the different breakdowns of the Audible memberships, that would be great. I usually, or at least the last year, I've been using Hoopla, which has a lot of great books, but I'm finding some of the newer ones or more popular books aren't on there. And this is one I definitely think I want to listen to the narrator. I've heard like her voices are really great, and that's super helpful for me with Audible, or with audio. So if you know anything about that, let me know. My next one, again, is the recommendation that I've gotten from Chantel Reads All Day, and that is the Aggie Morton series. This is, from my understanding, it's like if Agatha Christie was like a kid solving mysteries, and poor Aggie comes across a lot of dead bodies. This is the first one in a series of, I think there's 3 out now, but I'm really interested to start this one. So definitely made the list for my winter TBR. My last middle grade here is Until Tomorrow, Mr. Marsworth by Sheila O'Connor. This one is very high on my priority list. I'm dying to read it. It's an epistolary novel, and it takes place with letters between Mr. Marsworth and our main character, Renee. I've gone over this a couple times in videos, like what this is about, so I won't get into it, but super cute, super highly recommended, and one I hope to get to. All right, we will move to classics. So Little Women was on my list for this winter, but I'm currently listening to the audiobook of that, so that got scratched for this video, even though I'm mentioning it. One I do not have in my possession, I'll put it right here or right here, not sure which side, is The Hobbit. I started it a couple months ago and then had to go back to the library. I'm thinking I need to just buy myself a copy, because every time I take it out of the library, it has to go back. My library is usually pretty good about like renewals and being able to keep it for a long time, but if somebody else is waiting on it, then that you're only allowed, I think, to renew it. I don't even know if you're allowed to renew it at all if someone's waiting on it, something like that. But it cuts your time that you're allowed to have it short, is if somebody else is waiting on the book, and that seems to happen a lot with The Hobbit. And I need to read this one. I don't know how I've not read it. I just need to get my hands on it, and so that way I can take as much time as I need with it and not have to be stressed about getting it back to the library, or since I am a mood reader or lean that way, just because I take it out of the library doesn't mean I'll get it read in that first like 2 weeks. Next, I really would like to continue with the Anne of Green Gables series, so I've read half of this Anne of Avonlea, I believe at least half of it, if not more. I need to restart it over, just because I did stopped in the middle of it and I didn't pick it back up. So I want to reread it essentially, the second one, and then continue in the series. So this is on my winter TBR and just on my 2023 TBR in general. I want to get through quite a bit of the series. Okay, my last 3 books are fiction. Essentially, I have 2 historical fictions, and I think the other one's more of like a contemporary. So I don't own it, but I do have one that's kind of in the series. I thought I owned it, and then I realized this is just a continuation, or like a series connected to a series. So The Baxter Family by Karen Kingsbury, I really want to read. I thought I owned it, but apparently I own Best Family Ever, which follows the Baxter family children, which I heard really good things about this. I do want to read this, but I think I would like to start with the original Baxter family first. and then get to this one. And I read, in December, I read Karen Kingsbury's The Bridge. Loved it. I will talk about that in my December wrap up, but spoiler, I did give it 5 stars, so I'm anxious to read more from her. My last two here, I have Lady Jane Disappears by Joanna Davidson Politano. I have been eyeing this one for a while. I recently hauled it from Book Outlet a couple months back, and just the premise of it sounds really good, and I keep eyeing it on my TBR cart. Like every month I like to contemplate putting it in my TBR, so I feel like just putting it into my winter TBR kind of even elevates it up in my mind to reach for it. So super interested to check this one out. And the last one is The Nature of Fragile Things by Susan Meisner. Since I hauled this from my library book sale, I've heard not so many people say they love this book and this author. So I think she has the potential to become a new favorite author, I believe, just from what I've heard people say. And I hauled another one of her books recently, so really want to dig in and check her out and see what I think, see if my thoughts are on par with what everyone else thinks I'll think, you know, like everyone thinks I'll like it, but you never know. Okay, so that is my winter TBR. We've got a good mix here, I feel like. Again, I just use these as more of like I'm gonna try to pull from these books, but I might pull from other ones. We'll see as my pregnancy continues how I'm feeling, what my mood's like, if I'm leaning towards audio, because some of these it's like I've been using Hoopla for so long that it's like you have to kind of, I want to listen to this on audio, but they don't have it. So another reason I want to use Audible, but I'm a little confused there. But that will do it. Thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned for some more great videos coming up. I have my goals video for 2023, kind of like how I'm setting up my book journal, I'll maybe include in there. And yeah, so if you are enjoying what you've been seeing, please stick around, like and subscribe. I love having so many of you around to talk to, bounce ideas off of, and get reviews from. So thanks so much for being part of my little community, my little book corner of the world, and I will see you next time. Bye.